Hi all. So as you can see, I'm responding to the Creative Conscience brief. Here's a question that I've arrived at after my initial phase of research. So it's how can students living in halls of residence be empowered to better look after their own and their peers' mental health? So the project has three pretty broad objectives, which you can see here. If you pause the video, you can take a proper look. But in essence, the focus is on empowering students by giving them tools and info that they can use to better manage their mental health. So the hope is that that will thereby reduce the strain on support services, which is something that's felt across higher education institutions in the UK at the moment. So next slide. Here are some little chunks of info that help to explain what this project is looking to address. Student mental health is considered to be in crisis nationally. That is to say, the demand on services has increased faster than the support networks have had time to adapt. So there are a lot of points through a student's academic journey that can trigger a decline in mental health, but a lot of psychologists and mental health professionals really believe that the seed for this actually gets planted in the first year. So it's really important then that we give extra focus to this key time period and come up with some new ways to tackle the growing issue. So, what are institutions already doing? Well, quite a lot actually. So, between support services, students' union, residential support services, as well as printed information that most unis give out, there's quite a comprehensive top-down care network in place in most unis. In many cases, these measures are enough, and they actually do manage to help a lot of students through the difficulties, but there are still many that are falling through the cracks. It's my belief, and the belief of many of the research papers that I've been reading through, that a new approach is needed to help students to help themselves, basically, when this kind of top-down institutional support is either unavailable for whatever reason, or for students that are maybe uncomfortable in seeking it out in the first place. So what do I plan to do about it? Well, to put it simply, my plan is to develop a physical toolkit that utilizes different self-administrable therapies such as CBT and DBT to help the student to learn new techniques that can help balance their mood, help them to develop conflict management skills, and so on. At the moment, I'm still very much in the research stage of the project, as we all kind of are. The plan is to reach out to as many industry professionals as I can, try and get some support and advice. I want to find out what the most important issues that need to be addressed by the pack are and work from there. I'm very fortunate to have some connections back at the University of Southampton, where I previously worked. And the hope is to get involvement down the line from Falmouth and Bristol as well, as the project develops. I've also spoke to the mental health charity Student Minds, who've told me that they'd happily give me some feedback and some help with this down the line once it's taken form a bit more, which is really nice. Yeah, so to summarize, really, we've got 5 points. So I think these best highlight the rationale. So first and foremost, as I've already said, student mental health is considered to be in crisis in the UK. For many, mental health problems develop during that first year. So I think it's really important that we try and address that. Obviously, staff have a role to play, but the current system is too heavily top down. And that support isn't always immediately available, especially as demand increases over time. So something needs to be done about that. One of the main effects is that students are feeling disempowered to be able to help themselves or their friends. And more needs to be done to basically give control back to students when things start to spiral out of control. So yeah, this project plan builds in institutional, user, and professional feedback, as I've already mentioned. So hopefully the outcomes will be well positioned to tackle the specific issues at hand. And finally, there are other similar self-help products that have hit the market, through sites like Kickstarter, and the ones that I've seen have had a huge, huge backing, way beyond what they're actually asking for. So it really seems like there's a real demand for this kind of self-help product. So yeah, that's everything. Thank you for listening to my talk.